You'll find it looks like a big gray eraser. This is your printing block. Be 3 pieces of paper. This is the hello, and then there's 2 love ones. I put these in there just so you have a starting point if you had no ideas. If you're familiar with block printing at all, feel free to make your own design, but I feel like this was a good way to start off. And then the blue transfer paper, you can tell it has a light side and a dark side. You want to put the dark side face down on top of your printing block. And then choose one of your patterns and then place that on top of the paper. Is everybody following me? Yeah, just and then I just like to take 2 little pieces of tape on opposite corners just to hold everything in place. And I did this when I did it as a practice run, I found that you had to press very firmly to get it to transfer. And as you can see, it's also backwards. So in printmaking, if you're creating a stamp, so everything is in reverse. So didn't make the mistake there with the backwards thing. So once you have it taped down, you just want to outline everything, pressing really firmly with your pencil. And at this point too, after I've outlined things, I will fill it and I'll just shade it in. This is the part that you are not going to carve out. And it's just a nice reminder that you want to keep that part of your block there. And it doesn't have to be perfect.
I feel like I should be playing some Enya.
I know. I was like, how could we have background music for this? I chose a really simple one. I think the most complicated design is the one with all of the hearts, but well, you're still tracing. I'm just going to remove template and then show you. So the blue transfer paper, you'll see it, but it's pretty faint. And I was pressing, that light's not great, but I was pressing really hard. So once you get to this point and it's pretty a faint design there, I just use my pencil and then I trace over it again and draw it out. And when you're doing this part of it to draw it out on the block is really soft. So then I try to use my pencil pretty lightly so you're not peeling off pieces of the block. I'm just gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get to that point, and then I don't really like give me a thumbs up or a you're okay when you get to the point of tracing it and you're finished. Nice, good job, Bethany. Which design did you choose? Ooh. Did you peel off your transfer paper and see the transfer? And excellent, you're good. How's everybody else doing?
It didn't really transfer, but I just used my pencil and made my own version.
Perfect. Yeah, the blue transfer paper, I didn't realize that the blocks are so soft. It gives you an idea of what, where to color. So when you get to that point, the next thing you're going to do is in the kit, there's a little plastic bag. Blades. Be careful, they're definitely sharp. And there's the 3 different sizes here. And I actually found that the small and the medium work really well. I would actually just take this large one and just put it back in the bag and off to the side. You can try it later if you want or whatever, but it did not work well for me. And then start with the smallest attachment. And it just slides into the fat end of the tool. And what I like to do is go around all of the images first. So I have a little barrier and some safety. Always cut away from yourself. You never want to be doing this. They're sharp and they puncture and it's not good. So cut away from yourself and you lay it pretty flat to the block. If you want to get a feel for it before you start carving near what's actually going to print, you can flip your block over and put a little mark in it just so you know how it's going to cut, or cut somewhere out in the open where you're not going to be putting ink, just so you start to get a feel for it. But then I do like to trace around all of my letters and image. And then you can pick it off and just toss it aside for now.
Jeanette, how deep are you digging?
About a 16th of an inch to an eighth of an inch. You don't have to go very deep.
Okay.
What happens after we carve it, we're going to use the brayer and roll the ink over, and the brayer should be perfectly smooth and only hit the places that are not carved. And you can see, so this is one I had printed earlier, and you can see some of these ridges here were high points of the block, which gives it some character.
Yeah, I like the way that looks.
Yeah, so I don't carve very deep, and then sometimes I just leave the marks. But if you don't like them, you can always go back and, once you ink it, you can actually just go back and remove those too. And the carving definitely takes the longest, but it's worth it to take your time too and don't rush it. As you're carving, like I'm moving my block around and keeping my blade in one spot, which sometimes helps me just do curves and stuff to make a continuous line. Also, when you're outlining and going around everything, it gives you a barrier. So like if I were to slip, it doesn't just gouge into where I need to keep something. So it's just a little extra protection to do the outline first.
I'm way back on the transfer step because
Okay.
look at this, it didn't transfer.
Oh, hold on, let me make it bigger. I don't know why you're not big. Yeah, it doesn't look like it transferred. Do you have any image there that you can go over with the pencil? I can't see.
I tried both
Pull it back.
sides and
Pull it back.
Oh.
No, I want to see.
I would, okay. Can you see any of it?
You can make out some of the hearts, but
Yeah.
even I tried to retrace and it's
And it's
not.
not transferring.
Yeah.
You can, at that point, I'm like, if you're not pressing super hard, try pressing harder or just draw it out. If you know, I would make your own
I'll draw it in.
design.
Okay.
Yeah, just remember if you put letters in there to do them backwards.
Okay.
Are you both having the same issue?
No,
Um,
mine seemed to work just fine.
Did you have the transfer paper on the right side down?
Yeah,
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know why that didn't transfer. Sorry about that. I would yeah, I would use a just pencil and draw it out. Is anyone else having any issues or anything? Is anybody else still at the drawing stage?
The transfer paper didn't really work for me, but then I also have an assistant who's not very helpful. So
That cattail is slightly distracting. Did you
I think
then, could you see enough of it to color it with the pencil though?
I just redrew it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I don't know why this transfer paper, I've used it tons of times and then on these blocks, it was not transferring great in the practice, but unfortunately I had already put the kits together and sent them out. So sorry about that.
If we're want to purchase our own blocks, because I actually just got a block printing kit. It only came with one block that was pink. Is there a recommended kind of block?
Yeah, you can order blocks from Dick Blick. That's where I found that they're the least expensive.
Okay, thank you.
That's where I got
Yeah,
these from. I can hook you up with the website and stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah, I found that they're the least expensive. These blocks are like, these are called the Easy Cut blocks. They also have blocks that are a little bit harder linoleum and they're backed with wood. They're just a little bit more durable. I find that if you're just printing at home and using the wooden spoon to burnish, the softer ones work a lot better. But the harder linoleum, you can get a little bit more detail. And if you find when you're carving that you want to try one of the other blades, I would, try out the small one if you want. If you really want to try the large one, go ahead. But I was having a lot of issues with it where it was gouging way too deep into the soft block.
I feel like I remember doing a project like this in a high school art class.
You probably did.
Watching you do that is stirring memories.
Bringing back the memories. Nice. Yeah, this is degree many years ago in printmaking, and this was one of the very first printmaking projects in college for me. I had done it in high school, and then it was like printmaking 101 was carve a linoleum block. Has everybody made it to the carving stage at this point? Good.
Looks like maybe Kathy, I'm not sure what she was indicating, but it looked a little.
You're bad, Kathy, or you're good?
I think she's not there yet.
Oh,
Oh, here she comes.
I'm about a third of the way done with carving.
oh, good. No, that me too. Good.
Yeah, I just I have all those little hearts, so
Oh, yeah. That's the trickiest one, but it was the most fun one, but I did not choose it for either of the ones I carved.
and I'm using the tiny blade. So because I'm outlining it with the tiny blade. So I don't know if that's
Wait,
the right,
I'm sorry. You're using the tiny blade?
to do the outline of them.
My video is cutting out now.
Can you hear me, Jeanette?
Oh, I got you. I did not get Kathy. Just said, did you
Okay.
hear her?
Yeah, she was just saying that she was using the tiny blade to outline.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
One more time, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, and if if you're carving and definitely feel the resistance of the blade, shallower works really, really well for long areas, especially.
So you've called these blocks, they're linoleum. Is that so the same material as, linoleum tiling on our floor and stuff, or is it a different?
So this is slightly different, but I have used linoleum tile floors as a desperate thing to carve into, which which does work. These are a little bit softer,
Mhm.
and I don't know specifically what is made out of them. I picture these as like erasers, but
Yeah,
but I have no idea what the.
yeah.
I know you can get it in the they come pre-cut in a lot of different sizes, but you can see that like they I feel like they cut them to size and then ship them out, because I've seen it come in really big rolls that you can buy it and then cut it down yourself with just a sharp blade. And you can get carving tools that are, very fancy wood handles and, sets of 6 or 7 different blades for different textures. So I'm just about done carving. You guys all don't have to be there yet. I'm sure a lot of you aren't. But as I get towards the end, I just start to look for any high spots that I might have left, or any sort of like nubbins that are hanging off. And I just like to, rub them off or cut them off a little bit, Just so when I go to print, I don't get big spots.
Always check for nubbins.
Always check for nubbins and then pick the nubbins off. Mine, I think, looks pretty good. And then I definitely like to brush away all of the scraps, especially off your piece of plexiglass. I'm just gonna put my blades away. And I don't know if everybody saw that to have scissors, some paper towels, and a wooden spoon handy. Those were the 3 things that were not included in the kit. So at this point, I'm getting my bag of ink out. And this is way more ink than you'll need to print the, with the paper provided. And then what you should do, I tried to get it when I put the kits together, all to get it into the corner of the bag, but it could have shifted, is to push it to one corner like you would be doing like a bag of frosting or something. And then take your scissors. I take this shut. You want to take your scissors and just clip off a tiny corner. I don't know if you can see, it's probably about less than 1/4 of an inch on a diagonal for the bag of ink. And then take it just like a pastry bag. And you want to make a line on your plexiglass along the bottom edge. And then put your bag aside. If you want to continue to use this ink after the class and everything, just put a piece of Scotch tape or something over the corner and then cut it open again. After you have the ink out, you want to take the brayer. I like to wipe it off to make sure there's no dog hairs on it, because that's normally what there is, or cat hairs or anything. And then you're going to be evenly distributing the ink onto the plexiglass. And how I do this is you roll it, pick it up, kind of start in different places. Sometimes I go this way. And what you're looking for is for it to be evenly distributed. These brayers sometimes don't really get completely coated. And what I'm seeing here is that I actually am going to add a little more ink. I did not give my, oh, there it is. There's some right there. And it almost once it's spread out evenly, it, a little bit like Velcro and velvety.
Your audio just cut out a little bit while you were saying that. I think we got the sense of it. Maybe just repeat that about the Velcro and velvety again. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think you're back.
Okay, yeah, I got a weird, my internet wasn't working. Sorry. So I don't know what you missed, but you're getting an even coat and it starts to sound like Velcro and it starts to look velvety on the plexiglass surface. Add a little bit more ink. That sounds a lot better. And then this is just it's speedball printing ink and it's water based, so it washes up with soap and water. Just FYI, they do have oil based printmaking inks as well. These are just really simple to use, just for easy cleanup. And once you've spread out your ink on the plexiglass, it's time to put it onto the block. This is when the moment of truth, you're going to see how well you carve. I like to start at the bottom and kind of roll up, and then I roll it in all directions, coating the block evenly. And it doesn't need a ton of ink, but it does need to be coated. I think you can probably see on the video that you can still see some gray. You definitely want it to be red. Ooh, and I got some on the table. If you didn't want to be so messy, you could put a scrap piece of paper underneath your block. So that looks pretty well inked. And then I just put my brayer on, it will rest on its back out of the way. Use my paper towel to clean up my inky mess. Drinking water. And in the kits, I think there's you have 3 folded cards, but then there are also on one side and white on the other practice papers. And so for what I like to do is I put my paper down and then I flip on be perfect. And then, oh, is my video okay?
It was cutting out a little bit, but I think we could see what you were doing.
Okay, yep, so I put my block face down on the paper and then I slide it towards me off my surface and flip it over. And then I grab my wooden spoon. You use the back side of the wooden spoon, if not this side, and put your fingers on it and then you burnish it. And you want to really, really press. You know, when you're burnishing it and you think you've burnished it enough, burnish it about half the time again. You just really want to make sure you got everything covered.
This is the second project of yours that involves a lot of burnishing, really burnishing your credentials.
It is. I was waiting for you to bring that up. I taught a photo transfer class at the library last year, and there were a lot of people that I think were very upset at me that they were burnishing for like 30 minutes, but it worked.
It was
Cool.
fabulous.
So once you've burnished, you peel it up and you have your print. So you can definitely see where I had, higher ridges. It looks like I probably didn't quite burnish enough, and you can see it's really light. But then if you look at this whole edge, it's covered in ink still. So clearly the ink didn't quite transfer the right way. But everything else looks pretty good. And so basically once you can print as many as you want. That's the joy of printmaking, is that it takes the process to get there takes a little bit, but once you get going, you can make prints very quickly.
How's everybody doing in the process? They're very, very studiously plugging along.
A ways to go.
One thing about the water-based ink is it does dry a little bit quickly, so I am going to add more. You probably are going to have to add more in between your prints. Yeah, when you're inking, if you don't want to get ink on your table like I'm doing, just put a paper towel under it. Also, a good note for when you're inking, like I had said, you want it to be completely covered, but it also kind of gets the same like velvety look that the ink does on your plexiglass. You to have the same ink look, that same velvety texture. I am going to print one of the cards after I clean up my ink again. And making sure to print on the front of the card, not the back. Did you print one, Bethany? Are you about to? I heard you. I saw your lips move.
I'm almost done. Hold on. Almost there.
How's yours looking, Erin? Do you carve?
I think I'm done carving.
Excellent. And you'll
Oh, your audio is cutting out there, Jeanette. Oh, you might have been frozen when I said this. Your audio cut out for whatever you were saying to Aaron. So
oh, I don't know. Well, you look
I
like you're doing okay, Erin.
Yes, I think it's going okay.
Excellent. Oh, and Bethany, you got one. Nice.
I didn't put enough paint on it.
Yeah, I think, well, so the thing with printmaking is there's two factors. It's ink and pressure. So, so if you feel like you've given it enough pressure,
Uh-huh.
then it's a lack of ink issue.
All right, I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, but if you take a look at your block, if there's a lot of ink left on your block in that spot, it's obviously a pressure issue.
It was an ink issue based on my,
Okay.
I'm gonna do it again.
Excellent.
In hindsight, I would not have chosen to carve out 300 hearts, but I did.
I feel like most people chose the one with a lot of hearts. Is that true?
It's so cute.
Yes.
you gluttons for punishment.
I did the hello one, but that still had a lot to carve out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so this one I added a lot more ink and I burnished for a bit longer, but it came out pretty good. Another start out with twice the amount of paper as you want for prints. So if I wanted 10 good prints, I would start out with about 20 sheets of paper and expect 10 of them to be not so good. And usually your first 3 or 4 are not so good. Like you can see, it's like you learn your inking issue, or Bethany learns that she didn't have enough ink on it. Nice, hello. Perfect. Oh, 2 hellos. Nice. So you have a lot of high spots, but I like it.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, can I wash it off and then
So right
recarve?
now, I mean, you can wash it off and recarve, or you can just carve away those spots with ink still on it. You know, your hands might get a little bit inky if you're touching everything, but I like to just go in and just fix, you know, if I have high spots like that, I'll just take it and carve it right out then and there.
This came out so cute.
Oh, that's so good. I love it.
Yeah, I really like the effect of all the high spots and stuff. I think that makes it super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
definitely gives it the handmade appearance.
Hmm. It looks like a 16th century Valentine.
Yes.
The
If only we
16th
were
century was
carving
the
in
last time I
wood.
had.
What, Bethany?
I said the 16th century was the last time I had a Valentine.
Oh,
True story.
I think 16th
Bethany, would
century
you show
Valentine
this again?
probably involved a gallows or something, or like boiling oil.
Good point.
oh, Kathy, did you have a question?
Yeah, I want to see Bethany's again.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, great. Great.
My first one, I didn't do it hard enough or enough paint, and it's like,
It's so cute.
That's the same one. I'm still struggling to get it all carved out.
yeah, I just started doing it really fast towards the end because I was kind of.
So then I know everybody's still like printing or carving or any step you're on. A note about cleaning up. Like I said, it does dry a little bit quickly, but it will clean up with soap and water. I usually just take everything to the kitchen sink and run warm water over it and make sure it's really clean. And if you wanted to save more ink for later, if you didn't want to print everything, as I said, just tape it up and it'll keep. Other than that,
Jeanette, what kind of paint is it? Oh, I don't think she's on audio anymore.
what we had.
Sorry, Jeanette, you were frozen for that entire
And then when you,
thing.
what? Sorry, what?
Sorry, you were frozen for whatever you were saying for the past few seconds, and now you are again too.
I think she said it was speedball printing ink.
Oh, okay.
Think I'm unfrozen again? And maybe I just have to move slower. So what I was saying, any of the tools have to go back in the kit, but anything disposable or, that you were using to print on, or your block, paper, envelopes, transfer paper, templates, you get to keep all of that stuff. So the only things that really have to go back to the library are the cutting tool, brayer, and piece of plexiglass. And that's because coming up in June, we're going to be using the tools again to do another printing project, but we're going to be printing tote bags. So we're going to be printing on fabric. So that's a thing to look forward to. And then in April, I'm going to be doing a paint your own color wheel class. I know it might sound boring, but color mixing is very important, and it's a good skill to have. And then once you have your own color wheel, it's a really good reference for painting and color mixing in the future. So that's coming up in April. Does anybody have any questions?
Jeanette, can we carve the back of the block?
You can. That is a very good question. Yeah, so if you wanted to do another print, clearly you should wipe off all of your ink and clear it off the front, but then you can put a design on the back and use the other side to print something else.
Jeanette, this was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Any questions? We're good?
I'm glad we could do this.
Yeah. And definitely, I think I did put my card in there. I know it doesn't have my email address, but you can contact me through my website. My email is on that. That was a hindsight. But definitely, if you have any questions, let me know. And if not, have a happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jeanette.
So great.
Yes, it was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
Yeah, hearts
Yeah.
to everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're frozen on a heart. How perfect.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Weirdly enough, I feel like your camera pointing down at your hands and stuff, that never froze at all. So that's something to think about for next time.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. All right. I'm signing off. See you later, guys.
All right. I'll stay on for a few minutes if anybody has any technical.
Thanks, Jeanette.
But yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Alex, thanks for putting this together.
Sure thing.
I loved it.
Oh, they all look so nice.
I made 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are folks good to sort of continue from wherever you're at and get to wherever you feel comfortable ending? And do I see a Fredonia State hoodie on someone? I'm from Fredonia, so yay. Small world. When Jeanette saw that Aaron Land was in the room, we're like, could that possibly be the person she knows? And I guess it was. So that's cool.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna go clean up. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for coming.
Happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Sarah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. And how you doing, Kathy?
Oh, I'm still carving away.
Carving. You're gonna have the most perfect carve.
Oh, no, it's a mess.
Well,
Thanks,
cheers to
Alex.
that. Yeah, thank you. Show me how it turns out sometime.
Okay, I will do.
All right, wonderful.
Bye-bye.
Bye.